any fun with me.
Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be taking out the dash and the carpet in the silver car. I want to take up all the sound ending and stuff like that eventually. So I'm going to pull the seats out, carpet, harness bar, dash. I mean, this is pretty simple, but sometimes getting the airbag out is pretty big pain in the ass. But I'll show you how to get all the stuff out step by step. So first we're going to start by removing the center console. So if you're like me, you got a bunch of change in the car, get all that up. Pop this little panel up. There's 2 Phillips head screws here. And if you look right down in here, there should be 2 on this side, 2 on this side, and an e-brake console should come out. And you want to pull out the ashtray. There's 1 Phillips head back there, 1 over here on this side, 1 over on this side. Take the shift knob off, and then once you get this screw back here behind the ashtray, you should be able to pull this little section out with the cigarette lighter, and there'll be a Phillips head screw here and here. Then you can remove this center console. So I'm going to do that real quick. Alright, so once you have that out, you'll be at this point here. This ashtray did have 1 connector right here, which is this wire. Just pops right out. So next step, this radio isn't put in all the way, it's just kind of sitting in here. So I'm going to pull this out, take this out, and that's just 1 big white connector. There's a couple videos on YouTube how to get the stock radio out if you already have one. So next, I'm going to take off the steering column surround. And if you look right down here, there's 1 bolt here, 1 here, and 1 towards the back somewhere, right back here. So I'm going to take that off, and then we'll move to the glove box next. So I had already taken this part off before I started. This is like where the fuse box is right here. Goes underneath down here. So I'm trying to make this video detailed as possible. So there's going to be 1 screw in here, 1 on this side, and if you pull out that little coin pocket, right there is where another screw would be. And then you have that clip right here, and right here goes into that hole and that hole. So you just kind of pop it out. So on the glove box, on either corner here and here, you'll have a Phillips head, but it also has an 8mm head on it. And that guy is right here, and this is about right there. And then when you open the glove box, you'll have a Phillips head right here on this little damper. So next we're going to work on getting this cluster out. On the bezel, the surround, there's a Phillips head here and here. Just take those out and then slide the plastic out. So once you have the plastic surround out, there's 3 more screws. There's 1 right up there, 1 back here in this corner, and then 1 over here in this corner. And then once you get that, there'll be a couple plugs on the back of the cluster that you just have to undo and then take the whole thing out. Okay, so next we're going to take out this heater control unit here. So if you come over by the glove box and you look down and up, you'll see this black cable right here, and then you'll see this pin. You want to slide this off the pin, the metal wire, and pop it out of the little clip. And then when you come up to the actual heater control, you want to pop these buttons out. Underneath of it, right here, you'll see a little indent for a flathead. You want to gently pry it out so you don't break the button and you don't damage the console. And then once you have those out, if you look right back in there, there's a Phillips head screw. It's going to be on each side, and then the unit should just slide out. So once you're pulling this out, you'll get about right here, and you'll have that green plug, which will be plugged in right here. There's enough room for you to reach around the bottom through here and unclip it. Once you get this side out, you just want to turn the unit this way, pull the black cable through, and then you'll have this bigger connector right here, which is plugged into the back down here. Just reach around, push, pull out, and then you'll have this out. So back down here behind the glove box, you'll have a 10, an 8, an 8, and an 8. We're going to take that off, drop this little metal bracket. On the driver's side, there will be 3 10s, one over here and 2 over on that side. We're going to drop that and drop this metal bracket. So next, over on the side of the dash right here, you'll see this little access panel. You just want to pry that open with a screwdriver, and there's a 10 here. There's one of these on the driver and the passenger side, so we're going to take both of those off. Alright, so right up on the top of the dash you'll have the clock. You're going to take a Phillips head or flathead screwdriver, pry that out carefully so you don't damage the dash or mess up the side plastic of the clock. And then there'll be one connector holding the clock on, and there should be a 10 behind here. You're going to probably need an extension since it's so close to the glass. So now down here in this console area, I'm going to remove this bolt here, the one over here, and the one right here. Also that screw right there, and the one on this side. So down here by your knee on the driver's side, there's a 10 here. I'm going to take that one out. So up under the dash on the glove box side, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4. I would disconnect the battery before messing with the connector or anything, but this is for the airbag, so we're going to undo those and undo this connector. So now back on the driver's side, we're going to drop the steering column down. So down here you'll see this gold U-shaped piece. There's a 12 here, and right on the other side, right there. And then we're going to come up here, and right up here there's the 12 here. And also on the other side, this has a plastic cap, so you can pull this down because it's just holding the wires up, and then take that 12 down, and then let the steering wheel come down and just let it rest on the seat. That way, so when we pull the dash out, we ain't got to pull the steering wheel and controllers and all that off. So now the steering column's dropped, you can see the dash is pretty much ready to come out almost. But if you come down by the fuse box, on the side of the dash, you'll see the dash harness here coming down. You're going to have to disconnect all these wires from the fuse box, unless you want to start at one end of the dash and feed all that through. But I'm just going to do it this way because it's way easier. So I'm going to disconnect the couple connectors, and I'll show you exactly which ones it is when I get done. Alright, so here's the 3 that you're going to disconnect from the fuse box. It's 2 grays and a blue, and they came from right there, right underneath of it, and the blue one came from that blue right there. And it's also important to reach your finger up behind here, push the sunroof switch out, and get that, because that's on a separate harness that feeds up the side here to the sunroof. So once you get that, you should be able to pull the dash out. So I'm not sure how great this view is going to be because the camera's suction cupped to the sunroof and it's pretty tight to the screen, so I can't even see it. So basically, I'm going to walk this off, and make sure you watch the wiper controls and turn signals. You don't want to destroy them. Alright, so I see I'm snagged on one thing. Back by the heater core, there's a gray plug. I'll flip this towards me to make sure I don't call on anything else. And then there's so this is the first gray plug that I was called on, and now there's a big gray plug. Alright, so that's off. So now the dash is loose. I'm going to take this out the passenger side since it's pretty much sitting on my lap now. Alright, so now the dash is out. Looks pretty bare in here. I'm going to throw the steering column back up. 212s on these studs here. And then right there on that U-shaped part, this clamp goes on the bottom. And then the two 12mm bolts go back in. Alright, so the dash is out. So now we're going to start working on getting this carpet out. I'm going to start from the driver's side. Remove this dead pedal. There's two 10s here. This plastic cover where the hood latch is. I see one little clip down here. We're going to come down here. We're going to have to take this piece off for the trunk release and the gas door. Probably the door sill, and then come down here and take this leg of the harness bar off. This is where your stock seat belt would be, so it's just one bolt down here. And I'm going to pull out the seat, which is 4 12s, one on each corner, and then we'll move to the passenger side. So all the driver's side stuff is out. Harness bars undone both sides. So now I'm going to come over here to the passenger side, undo the ECU cover, sill, seats, bag up all the bolts from the dash, take out the harness bar on this side, and then we'll move over to these center support braces because I don't want to cut the carpet. I'm just going to unbolt that stuff and slide it under. So everything's pretty much out the car. So now up behind here, this little plastic cover that covers the airbag module or control unit or whatever it is. There's a plastic screw on each side. I'm going to take that out because it looks like the carpet's underneath of it. And then these two 12s right here, I'm going to take those out, so hopefully I have enough room to slide the carpet underneath, and then I'm just going to pull it back. So I got to this stage of pulling the carpet, and yellow SRS wires on both sides is holding it from coming out, and also the connector for the OBD port. So I'm going to pop this OBD port out. It looks like it's just a push pin thing on each side, and that'll be out. For this side of the yellow, undo this. There's another clip right next to the OBD, and then this side will lay down. Over here, the same thing, clip here, here, and then it kind of snakes up behind the dash, and there's a yellow clip underneath the steering column, and then the other side goes to the fuse box. So I'm going to undo all that so that way the wires lay down and I can pull the carpet over top of it. Alright, so the whole carpet's out now. SRS unit's pretty much out the car. All I gotta do is get some Torx bits, and I'll take out the computer in another video. So I did have to take out this bracket right here. It's just two 12s. And then we already did the one at the bottom, so it made it easier to slide the carpet through. And I did cut the carpet right under here. It was just a little 1-inch, if even that, piece that I slit because I didn't feel like undoing the e-brake. But the carpet came out one complete unit, Definitely needs to be vacuumed up in here. So I'm going to put all these brackets back on, and then I'll move on to what I'm doing next. So I took the dash, set it on the hood, and I undid all the clips. So this right here is the dash harness minus the part for the heat and the antenna connector, which I'm not worried about because I'm putting the heat controls back in here right now. So I can move the car back and forth, make sure it's warmed up and stuff. I'm gonna install the harness back in here, fuse box side right here, and then this is the cluster plugs, and I'm pretty much not worried about anything from there forward. So I'm gonna put this in. I'm gonna zip tie the cluster up here. Okay, so I have the wires plugged into the fuse box. I have the sunroof switch zip tied here just for the time being. Cluster is in. Have the hazard switch just zip tied up here so the turn signals still work. All the rest of the harness that's not in use right now, it's just kind of hanging out right here. So this is pretty much where I'm going to leave the car for right now. Alright, so I'm pretty sure everybody's wondering why would I just strip out the car like this. It's definitely not staying like this. Trust me, I have something in my head how I envision this car turning out when I'm finished, but the interior is definitely going to be like this for a while, considering I only have 2 days a week to mess with the car, and that's between juggling family and stuff like that on the weekends and adult responsibilities. So this is just the first step. Next step, we're going to probably try to start getting rid of some of the sound ending. I want to get all of it out of the car, and then after that I have some more stuff in mind that I want to try to do, clean up the wiring and stuff like that. So if this interests you, stay tuned, because there's a lot more to come before this interior even gets set back up the way that I want it to be. So thanks for watching, and until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and questions are always welcome. Thanks, and have a good day.